See also, VSTOL. A short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft is a fixed-wing aircraft that is able to take off from a short runway and land vertically. The formal NATO definition is, a short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft is a fixed-wing aircraft capable of clearing a 15 m obstacle within 450 m of commencing takeoff run, and capable of landing vertically. On aircraft carriers, non-catapult assisted, fixed-wing short takeoffs are accomplished with the use of thrust vectoring, which may also be used in conjunction with a runway ski jump. Use of STOVL tends to allow aircraft to carry a larger payload as compared to during VTOL use, while still only requiring a short runway. The most famous examples are the Hawker Siddeley Harrier and the Sea Harrier. Although technically VTOL aircraft, they are operationally STOVL aircraft due to the extra weight carried at takeoff for fuel and armaments. The same is true of the F-35B Lightning II, which demonstrated VTOL capability in test flights but is operationally STOVL. History. In 1951, the Lockheed XF-V1 and the Convair XF-Y tail-sitters were both designed around the Allison YT-40 turboprop engine driving contra-rotating propellers. The British Hawker Pages 1127 took off vertically in 1960, and demonstrated conventional takeoff in 1961. It was developed into the Hawker Siddeley Harrier which flew in 1967. In 1962, Lockheed built the 15-4 Hummingbird for the U.S. Army. It sought to augment available thrust by injecting the engine exhaust into an ejector pump in the fuselage. First flying vertically in 1963, it suffered a fatal crash in 1964. It was converted into the 15-4B Hummingbird for the U.S. Air Force as a test bed for separate, vertically mounted lift engines, similar to those used in the Yak-38 Forger. That plane flew and later crashed in 1969. The Ryan 15-5 Vertifan, which was also built for the U.S. Army at the same time as the Hummingbird, experimented with gas-driven lift fans. That plane used fans in the nose and each wing, covered by doors which resembled half garbage can lids when raised. However, it crashed twice, and proved to generate a disappointing amount of lift, and was difficult to transition to horizontal flight. Of dozens of VTOL and VSTOL designs tried from the 1950s to 1980s, only the subsonic Hawker Siddeley Harrier and Yak-38 Forger reached operational status, with the Forger being withdrawn after the fall of the Soviet Union. Boeing had studied another odd-looking supersonic fighter in the 1960s which never made it beyond photos in Aviation Week. Rockwell International built, and then abandoned, the Rockwell XF-V12 supersonic fighter which had an unusual wing which opened up like window blinds to create an ejector pump for vertical flight. It never generated enough lift to get off the ground despite developing 20,000-pound forces of thrust. The French had a nominally Mach 2 Dassault Mirage IIV fitted with no less than 8 lift engines that flew, but did not have enough space for fuel or payload for combat missions. The German EWR VJ101 used swiveling engines mounted on the wingtips with fuselage-mounted lift engines, and the VJ101CX-1 reached supersonic flight on July 29, 1964. The supersonic Hawker Siddeley Pages 1154, which competed with the Mirage IIV for use in NATO, was cancelled even as the aircraft were being built. NASA uses the abbreviation SSTOVL for supersonic short takeoff/vertical landing, and as of 2012, the X-35 bytes per Fahrenheit-35B are the only aircraft to conform with this combination within one flight. The experimental Mach 1.7 Yakovlev Yak-141 did not find an operational customer, but its rotating rear nozzle technology found good use with the F-35B. The F-35 Lightning II is expected to enter service by 2016. Larger STOVL designs were considered. The Armstrong-Whitworth AW681 cargo aircraft was under development when cancelled in 1965. The Dornier Do-31 got as far as 3 experimental aircraft before cancellation in 1970. Although mostly a VTOL design, the V-22 Osprey has increased payload when taking off from a short runway. References